You hit publish on a big flash sale or a viral post. Traffic floods in, and right when it matters most, the site goes down. You log into your hosting dashboard to figure out what broke, and the numbers don't make sense. Your account shows unlimited bandwidth and 50 gigabytes of untouched storage. Here is the disconnect. Hosting companies price their plans based on monthly volume, but your website actually survives based on moment-to-moment concurrency. This 30-day calendar represents your data transfer volume, the total bytes your server sends to visitors over a full month. Modern servers handle this easily. Concurrency is different. It's the count of simultaneous requests hitting your server in the exact same second. No physical component inside a server actually counts visits per month. Every layer of the hosting stack, from the web server to the database, only enforces limits on simultaneous work in progress. Take a look at almost any hosting comparison table today. You will see limits on storage space and bandwidth, but neither of those metrics dictates whether your site stays online during a spike. If you buy a plan based on monthly volume, you are flying blind. You are trusting your most important traffic events to specs that will not protect you. The first spec you actually need to check is concurrent PHP slots. Think of these as a hard ceiling on simultaneous tasks. Each slot processes one uncached request at a time. Visitors pass smoothly until traffic spikes. When visitors exceed the available slots, excess requests are forced into a gridlocked queue. When that queue times out, your visitors get an error 503 page. This happens while your bandwidth meter barely registers a blip. The second hidden limit is container memory. This is the absolute RAM ceiling applied across your entire hosting account, pooling every process you have running. Support articles often tell you to increase your individual PHP memory limit, but that limit sits strictly inside the global container memory boundary. Giving individual processes permission to use more RAM backfires. They consume available memory faster, crashing your entire account. These ceilings are enforced at the operating system level by the Linux kernel. No optimization plugin or caching tool can bypass them. Unlimited traffic and individual memory allowances act as marketing decoys. They pull attention away from the real constraints of slot count and total container memory. Having a high number of PHP slots accomplishes nothing if your global container memory is too small to let those slots do actual work. You need both numbers to survive a surge. Let's move to the next claim printed on nearly every pricing page, the massive SSD storage allocation, usually boasting 50 or 60 gigabytes. The size of your drive hides a constraint called disk I/O throughput. This dictates exactly how fast your account can read and write data, regardless of how much empty space you have left. An I/O ceiling is uniquely frustrating. Every action silently slows to a crawl while waiting for the drive to respond. Then there is the inode ceiling. This hard cap on total files your account can hold is completely separate from physical file size. When you hit the inode limit, you start seeing sudden write failures. You will try to upload a basic product image and get rejected, even when your dashboard insists you have 40 gigabytes of space left. The final factor that dictates your site's capacity is the database tier and its physical location. A hosting provider bragging about running the latest database version tells you exactly nothing about where that database actually sits. Many hosts save money by running databases on separate remote servers. This forces every database query your site makes to endure a physical network round trip, adding microscopic latency that compounds rapidly under load. Having a 60 gigabyte drive and an updated database engine provides zero benefit if your site is being suffocated by an unlisted I/O limit or remote network delays. You can pull these hidden numbers out of a hosting provider before you hand them your credit card. To cut through the marketing noise, you have to look for disclosure. You can grade a provider based on whether they publish these 4 specific specs, supply them on request, or keep them hidden. Open a pre-sale support ticket and ask for the hard limits on concurrent PHP slots, total container memory, and inodes. Also ask if the database is local. Pay close attention to the reply. If support responds with a vague paragraph about unlimited resources instead of giving you specific numbers, you have found your first red flag. Walk away. If you already have a hosting plan, you can check your own constraints right now by opening your cPanel dashboard. This graph tracks your account's resource usage over time. Hosting companies will point you toward the smooth line at the bottom, showing your average usage. You must ignore that average entirely. Averages completely smooth out the peaks. They hide the exact split-second moment your traffic spiked and your concurrency limit was breached. Look for the fault count next to entry processes. Finding a non-zero fault count during a busy hour is mathematical proof that concurrency limits, not monthly bandwidth, are what is taking your site down. Your next step depends on what your website actually does. Let's start with content publishers. If you run an evergreen blog or news site, you can stretch lower server specs incredibly far, but only if you verify that a genuine server-level cache is handling your traffic. Check your live HTTP response headers. A properly configured server-level cache intercepts a traffic spike immediately, delivering the page before a single PHP slot is ever touched. The rules change for e-commerce and membership sites. Their traffic profile operates differently because it requires unique per-user data that breaks standard caching. Carts and checkouts cannot be cached. Every shopper trying to pay occupies a dedicated PHP slot for the entire duration of their transaction. Store owners cannot fake capacity with caching plugins. You must evaluate and purchase hosting strictly based on guaranteed concurrent PHP slots and container memory. That is how you end the illusion of unlimited traffic and keep your site online when it actually matters.